Hey folks, hope you're doing well. Wanted to take a moment to hop on and just do a really quick follow-up to last night's video regarding this swarm off the Oregon coast. Right now, total within the past 24 hours, we're sitting at around 92 earthquakes that have been registered and reported by the USGS worldwide, including everything 2.5 or above in the continental United States. And I mean, if you look at this map historically, if you've been following this at all recently, there are 55 earthquakes just within this region in the past 24 hours. And I would say, based upon my observations, worldwide for this current filter, you would typically see somewhere between 30 and 50 total. So we're seeing more than that just within the one region. The activity has dropped off a bit in the past few hours, but if you search or sort by the largest magnitude here, there were a lot of fairly significant quakes. And one of the nice features about the USGS site is you can actually dig into the details on these particular events. I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, so part of the focus of this particular video is to show you one feature specifically and something that's a little strange in my opinion. So again, I sorted by largest magnitude. We have a couple 5.8s that popped off. If you select the link, you'll be taken to some details for that one specific quake. There's an interactive map, regional information, the felt reports. You can see the moment tensor, which gives you an expression of how that energy was released, as well as a shake map, and if there's any sort of economic losses or fatalities, as well as a link to the tsunami warning system website. But when it comes to the actual technical details that the seismologists are reviewing, you can see right here that this was indeed reviewed. You can dig into the technical section, the origin, and we can see where there are two different quote unquote products that have all the technical details that feed into the determination of the magnitude of the earthquake itself. So this is actually a really cool feature. And one thing I want to point out, you can look at the magnitudes for all of the stations that are included in what I believe are these products right here. So we've got a green check mark next to this top one, that essentially indicates that the 5.8 magnitude quake was determined to be valid based upon the data that is fed by these 111 stations. What's a little strange to me, though, is the fact that they say there are 111 stations that feed into this determination, yet you can't look at the station details. And one of the reasons why I like to look at the station details, we'll drop down to this one below. You can see there's an active link which expands into the list of all the different seismographs that are retrieving and feeding data to the USGS. You can download the data, you can sort, and one of my kind of like favorite things to do here is see what is the range of the magnitudes that were reported by the stations. So if we sort by magnitude, you can see in ascending order, you have a 3.5, which was the lowest magnitude. I don't know where this station is, but typically what you can do is copy the station ID, paste it into your favorite search engine, and it will, if there's a match, I'll just do it really quick here. Just drop it into Google. And you can see maybe there are some matches on that specific string that will give you an indication as to where that particular station is located. I think maybe this is an indication right here, the unique identifier W13A, I don't know for sure, but again, do your own research. I'm just kind of showing people here things that you can do in order to dig a little deeper if you so desire. And then if you sort in descending order, you can see that the largest magnitude registered was 6.3. So if we take that station ID, this was in Oxford, Mississippi. My guess is that the scientists who are reviewing these station details, they have some sort of process through which they analyze the data, like all of these AK, that to me seems like it's probably Alaska. But they almost certainly have a process that they're following in order to determine, some of these stations may not be calibrated properly, or their location may not necessarily give the most accurate representation of the event itself. So they are following their established process to determine, based upon all of the available data, this was determined to be a magnitude 5.5. There are 451 stations under this particular product, or whatever it's considered by the USGS. And again, what I find strange is that you have 111 stations for what ended up being the official magnitude upon review of 5.8, but you can't see the actual station details. I don't have a reason for that. It just seems a little strange that it's not made available. Perhaps it's not in a format that can be presented on the website. I really don't know. But that's about it. I just kind of wanted to follow up. And actually there was an earthquake that just popped off in the last 15 minutes or so. So the activity continues. It does seem to be dropping off a little bit. And as some people mentioned in the comments on the last video, it's very possible that this is just a long overdue release in the form of many sub-magnitude 6 earthquakes, which would be a good thing. It's not necessarily an indication there's a foreshock or a series of foreshocks before something larger were to strike. But I will note, if you look at these 5.8s, I don't know that I've ever really seen this before, but whenever there is a significant event like this, they tend to give this summary, and I don't see it now, but there was earlier a section which was kind of like predicting aftershocks, or whether or not this could be a foreshock to something larger, and then it broke down by magnitude the likelihood of it being a foreshock to something larger. Like, this is a 5.8. There's a 1% chance that within the next 7 days there could be a magnitude 7 or greater, something along those lines. But I don't see that anymore. So maybe they took that off. I hope this helps. There's a lot of people who responded who live in the area that are essentially saying the news sources are not reporting this, or they're just kind of downplaying it. So check out the USGS site, look at some of these larger quakes, read through the summary, educate yourselves. Take care, be well, peace.